Good day, everyone. Welcome. I'm Dr. Darrell Wolfe. And guess what? Welcome to Clayton's Classroom. Clayton's Classroom will be happening every 2 weeks. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. You know what? One of the best gifts I ever got was being able to do a show with Clayton Nolte every 2 weeks. And guess what? I actually mean that. Okay? So here we are. Welcome to another Doc of Detox show. I'm Dr. Darrell Wolfe. And I'm with my co-host, the amazing Clayton Nolte, the inventor of the structured water units. He is here live and in person to give you the truth about water. Yes, the water you drink and the water you bathe in can be questionable. Okay, so today's show is called Reverse Osmosis versus Structured Water. All right. And all I'd like to say here is welcome to the Battle of the Bulge. Because if you're buying reverse osmosis or distilled water, guess what? You ready for this? I bet you didn't know this. You can't even digest it. Why do you think you do one glass and you feel like you've eaten a whole meal? Well, that means that it wasn't made by nature. And if it wasn't made by nature, that means it's processed water, just like processed food. And that means we can't digest it properly, which means it's going to turn on us. I'm going to leave you that. And I want you to start thinking about the questions because we want your questions and we want you to call in. The phone number is 888-570-9445. Okay? So welcome to the Battle of the Bulge. Just before we start, I have a couple of announcements, okay? And this is it. For all of you out there, I want you to say this to yourself. You may not be able to because a lot of people find this stuff really goofy or weird or spiritual or back in like the Woodstock days, hippie things. You know, when the hippies used to talk about love all the time, they were poo-pooed on. And today we still poo-poo on love, right? But here it is. This is my Braveheart pledge. And here we go. Say this after me. I am love. I am healed. I am a Braveheart. All right. So what are we talking about? We're talking about love is the answer, but self-love is the cure. And until you honor and respect yourself and become a Braveheart and you know how to hold the line respectively with your family and everyone else, you'll never get what you deserve. So let me talk about some of the things that are coming up. You can join us for the next Braveheart retreat, February the 8th. It's a 6-day life-changing retreat getaway, and it will be happening at the Lido Resort in Palm Springs, California. Only 16 people that's all that can come. All attendees will be receiving my Braveheart training, and that's worth $500. The next Braveheart Nation live Q&A will be tomorrow, Tuesday, August the 14th at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Get your questions ready. And this is where we attack the emotional side and we start to look for alignment and balance and really trying to look for our authentic selves. And finally, we have Hope for Cancer Q&A with Dr. Tony Amanas on August the 16th at 3 p.m. Creating the perfect day to prevent and heal cancer. Okay, so we'd really love to see you there. Get your questions, tell your family. It all happens here. All right, and for those of you who haven't tried the daily cleansing tea yet, you can call up and get a half a month of our life-changing daily cleansing tea for free, one per customer. And when you do, I'll even throw in a copy of my Healthy to 100 book free. All right, for those of you who still read. Okay, all right, and also. You can also go to braveheartlibrary.com and you can check out my emotional audios, and there's booklets in there about inflammation, how to create the perfect day. And we also put part of the Braveheart way in there to get you started on thinking about that beautiful person that lives inside of you. Okay. All right. And for all our shows, go to docofdetoxshow.com and what you'll find is Doc Talk Q&A. That's where I talk about nutrition, detox, and I have guests on. Then Braveheart Nation, you know about that. That's the emotional side of it. Clayton's Classroom, what we're doing right now. Energy Medicine, where we bring in the finest energy medicine that has been created. And as Einstein said, energy medicine will take over the future when it comes to healthcare. And believe it or not, isn't that crazy? This is energy medicine. And you don't even plug it in. Where do you plug it in? Where do you put the batteries in? You don't. This is energy medicine that takes no action. It does it all for you. All right. And then we won't forget about my last show. Two shows are Hope for Cancer with Dr. Tony Jimenez and Pet Star for all you people out there who would love to have beautiful, healthy pets. Join us. Go to docofdetoxshow.com and you'll get all your answers. Hey, Clayton, how you doing, buddy?
Fantastic.
Well, thank you. So today's topic, or before we do that, is there anything you want to share with anybody new about yourself or anything that's going on?
Hey, just getting here.
Just getting here?
just getting, just getting here is my going on.
Oh, good, good. And we love you getting here, okay? Because
Thank
when
you.
you get here, then we'll get it on. All right? So, anyways, let's open up by talking about. I'd like to talk about reverse osmosis water and versus structured water, distilled water, bottled water. I'd like to tackle the three of them and also talk about the Brita water system. And I'd like to talk about Kangen water as well. So let's start off with reverse osmosis, and then anybody there that would like to challenge what we're talking about or just add to what we're talking about, just call 888-579445. This is your show, okay? So Clayton,
Yes.
so will you tell us what do you think about reverse osmosis water?
Well, reverse osmosis water came into place, to aid people to filter out all the materials that are in the water, and so that's what it does. It all of the solids, the material, total
Okay,
dissolved
Clayton,
solids.
can I ask one question? Are you getting are you we can hear everybody in your office and the
Uh,
TV or something. It's all coming over the
okay,
yeah.
Monique.
Yeah, we can hear everything. Exactly what they're talking. They're coming clear as a bell through this.
I have I'm plugged in. I don't know how that would happen. Monique, take it to another room. I can hear you. You. Is that better?
Yeah, that's great. And usually I wouldn't do that, but they were actually drowning you out.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So
So
let's take it from the
back
top
to
again.
what is reverse osmosis basically is a filter. It filters, and it is such an aggressive filter that all the stuff that it takes out of the water, that stuff has to go somewhere. So it goes down the drain. So reverse osmosis is the amount of water that is actually um, highly concentrated with stuff is enormous. I mean,
Like,
it's
what are you talking about? Like heavy metals, chemicals, or what do you mean stuff?
right. Heavy metals, chemicals, excesses in the water, all the aggregates, whatever they are, all the excess in the water are pressed into uh, out the drain, down the drain, and they go out uh, into the elimination system of the city, and that water is very difficult to reclaim when it has all those concentrated toxins, physical toxins in the water.
Right.
So the difference here, what okay, let's stay with reverse osmosis. Reverse osmosis removes the physical components in the water, just like a filter would, only it does it more aggressively than a filter. So, but it doesn't remove the energy of the physical. The energy of the physical is still in the water. And if you go back to where humans, uh, when we eat food, everything we eat and drink, uh, your 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 gut, your intestines, your colon, right?
Yes.
uh, uh, breaks down all the food you eat and drink, and the the energy from that food that we eat and drink is what goes to your cells in the form of energy, in the form of frequency. And that frequencies of all the food you eat and drink is carried on a water molecule.
Okay, but how
So,
much energy is actually, what kind of frequency is actually attached to reverse osmosis if you've lost the minerals and if it's gone through such a heavy process?
well, all the frequencies are there. The frequencies not only of the heavy metals are still there, because there's no process in reverse osmosis to remove the things that are bad for life. I mean, the things that are good for life and the things that are bad for life are still in the water. That's the problem.
Okay, so the frequencies are there, not the actual physical element is
Right,
there anymore.
right. Not the physical,
So are you
just
trying
the
to say
frequency.
that the frequencies that are there from the heavy metals, the viral, the bacterial, or any of the drug residue frequencies that are left there, and we're talking people, everybody out there, we're talking about something similar to homeopathics. You can actually buy homeopathics where the frequency is just in a water base, and when you take that frequency actually helps you to get well. So if people do not understand what we're talking about frequencies, and if you what I was talking about, I did a one today, Clayton, just before this, and I was talking about how we're particles, we're atomic particles, and we're 99% empty space, and that empty space is all frequencies. It's built on light, frequency, energy. So people do not realize that the actual frequency part of a food is more important than the mineral part or the actual toxic part. I mean, you could kill yourself if you took enough toxins in, but we are frequency beings. So what Clayton's trying to explain is that we feed off a frequency, whether it's emotion, food, water, everything. Anyways, I'll let you take over, Clayton. Thank you.
Right, right. So what reverse osmosis again still contains everything that it starts out with. The reverse osmosis runs off of the water coming into your home, city water, groundwater, wherever it's coming from. So it still has even from the start to the finish of reverse osmosis, you still have everything in it that was in it before, both good and bad. They're pile they're just vibrational frequencies that are in the water.
Okay, if you don't
So
mind.
the water then is is uh, is has huge clusters. That means that the your body has to then break that water down and bring it down to the six water molecules to bring it down to structured so that your cells can receive it.
So
So
how
the
much?
amount of energy your body puts out to structure reverse osmosis water is huge. It is. I mean, there were statistics built on it 15 years ago, basically saying that a 35-year-old man or woman to be hydrated every day, the amount of energy your body puts out, if you could convert it to electricity, you could light your house up for a month. That's a 35-year-old man or woman.
So the energy that it would take to actually, okay, so reverse osmosis, are we looking at around 2,500 to 3,000 molecules per droplet? Let's say around that.
Right, right,
So
exactly.
now with structured water,
So
you're looking at 6 molecules. So that means you have to take all that energy and break that down. And is that why most people complain about feeling bloated or they can't get their water in that they need that day because they feel so heavy from that?
sure, because if your if your if your physiology is is let's say is uh, is lost in disease or in disharmony, in it's compromised from bad food, from the struggle of your physiology struggling to maintain just hydration. If your body can't receive hydration from the water you're drinking, your body will start to store it as fat, right?
That's
So,
right.
so, that aspect of being able to structure the water that you're drinking, because the water has to be structured in order for your cells to be able to receive it. What we are promoting here is a technology that if you run your water through your reverse osmosis water through it before you go to drink it, what it does is it neutralizes all the toxic energy and enhances all the nutrient energy.
Okay, so we could put like if we had a house unit, then we'd run it through the reverse osmosis, and the structuring would still hold even through the process
Yes,
of that.
yes, that's
Okay,
true.
or if you didn't have a house unit, you could use like a portable, right?
Yes,
And then
after
the port
after the fact. Yes,
after the
right,
fact, right?
right, right.
Okay, so what we're actually doing is we're not really creating enzymes like we would do, like when you do food and you cook it, you lose the enzymes, so you lose the ability for the food to break down properly. So when you do the reverse osmosis, okay, now would you say that reverse osmosis, if we just take regular water, is it harder to digest reverse osmosis than just the regular tap water that would have went through it? Or does the reverse osmosis actually cause the water to even be harder to digest than just the tap water that we started with?
I'm not that familiar.
Okay,
I've not looked at the science of that question.
okay,
I would say that reverse osmosis, it may make it easier to digest it, but I couldn't say that absolutely.
but what we do know is that anybody that has reverse osmosis, if you get a structure unit from us, and this is not where I come in with the sales technique, but and you get this, when you do it, you're going to be able to drink a quart of the water that you just purified through your reverse osmosis, where you could only drink a glass and you'd still have a lighter feeling in your stomach after a quart than a glass of the reverse osmosis. And challenge me on that, because that's the whole ticket. And for those of you who have never been on here before, all we're doing is duplicating nature, eh, Clayton?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're just duplicating the way nature brings uh, brings the health and well-being to every creature on the planet. Nature does that automatically.
So let me ask you another question. So even though we get rid of the toxin with the reverse osmosis, could we actually? Oh, this one might be a little bit more deeper than we want to go. Could we actually feel sick or have the same feeling, or maybe less of, but still get some of that because the frequency is there, but not the actual matter? So the bacteria might not be there, but the frequency might be there. The drug may not be in there, but if the frequency of the drug is there, and has it ever been studied to be able to show some type of a difference?
You mean for reverse osmosis from before to after?
Well,
I'm
yes.
I'm sure that the answer to that probably is no. Because it's already a product on the market, and and science is driven by companies trying to develop uh, uh, let's say a book or information to sell a product.
Yes.
Primarily,
Yes.
that's where science is. Science is only is only engaged in, from companies that are interested in promoting a product.
Right.
So if you already have a product, doing the science of what the differences are, uh, somebody would have to pay for that.
Yeah. And there's basically no real policing of water.
Absolutely.
Because
Right.
if there's anything, there's like, and please don't get me
Right.
wrong, but there's only
Th-
terrorism of water. I mean, fluoride, chlorine, you know, dumping that continually into that. And, And what about when children actually take a bath? And that's a really big one because children, they absorb this so fast through their tissue cells, don't they?
Right, right. And
Yeah.
herein lies another quandary. What you made the statement of is is chlorine is a poison, fluoride is a poison, and it's added to the water for a purpose. When you challenge any agency responsible for the quality of water, they they have no they they've already condoned it. It's on the far right of any analysis of water. There's a column that says acceptable numbers. They've already written it in that that's acceptable. So so even though when you talk about a child receiving uh, the massive amounts of fluoride and chloride that's that is presented to them through the water they're drinking and bathing in, it it's truly not acceptable.
All
But
right. Well, we'll come back, and I don't want to lose that one, but we have a caller. So, Jack, do you want to open up our first caller? Hi, caller. Hi, caller.
Hello, guys. How's it going?
Going good.
Hey, I just checked you guys' website. I saw the portable structured water unit was about $400. Is that really the lowest price that you guys can do? Is that the normal price for something like that, or are there other companies out there
No,
producing something?
that is the price. It's $400. Yes.
Is that the high technology causing the influx of the price, or what's inside of there?
Well, it's what it's composed of, and it's what it can do. I mean, you compare it to anything else. Like we give you a 90-day money back that this device is going to outshoot anything you've ever used to hydrate. And understand something. Before everything else, and I'm not saying, but hydration has to come before everything else. It doesn't matter how much you drink if you're not going to get it in your cells. And if you don't get the water into your cells, you're not going to get the nutrition in, you're not going to get the toxins out. So let's compare this. Let's compare this unit being $400, right? And this unit also has gemstones in it as well. And the way that it's been developed and what it can do. And then let's compare this to a Kangen water unit that can range around anywhere from $3,500 to $5,000, right? And a Kangen water unit will cluster water. It will ionize it, but it won't structure it. And I'll come up against a Kangen water unit any day with any of my patients and compare that Kangen water to just this structure unit and what it's capable of doing. And also my patients are able to pour through here every other liquid that they're drinking. And they can also use the water to actually spray their foods, to actually detoxify their fruits and vegetables. I mean, it doesn't end. You can put you can put a Kangen water into a tub, but you can't put a cup of Kangen water into a whole tub and have it structure the whole tub and protect your child where you can with a structured water unit.
Right.
So the reality is that if you paid $400 and I said to you that I was going to charge you 78 cents a day for every day for really fantastic, the best water you could have, tell me that $400 for this for the rest of your life is a lot of money.
It should be worth it. So it's a lifetime?
It's warranted for lifetime. So, okay. So if anything happens to it, we'll replace it. Absolutely. So
Yes.
guarantee-wise.
I'm just worried about myself because I can't test the water that's coming out. So in about a year of using it, I can't just test it and just make sure that I'm still getting the high quality.
Oh, it's not going to
water
change.
that I was getting
You have to understand something. You're not talking about a battery that wears out. Okay, we're talking about a device that is a unit that works off of non-action. just by way the water goes in and vortexes in all different directions at the same time, and then running over these different gemstones actually does it. Now, a lot of people go, well, that's hokey. You know what? But I checked Clayton out for 2 years before I even went. And then I went to see him to check him out. So, it's like anything else. Why is it that our crops, the birds, the bees, the flowers, the trees, have not been damaged over the last 100 years? And meanwhile, heavy metals, acid rain, and meanwhile, our crops still grow as good as they did 100 years ago. So the reality is that what Clayton has done, he's duplicated nature. And for me, there's value in there, okay? Tell me how you can justify $50,000 for 4 wheels and steel. So, we can look at anything like this because it's the technology that went into it, and it's what it can do for you. Clayton, do you have anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, this is something that does come up, price. If you had been in my shoes from the start, the price is, even at $400, is reasonable, compared to what it took to do this, to bring this into fruition, to actually bring it about.
Yeah, and if I can just state, you know what, you've got 90 days. So
Yep.
you've got 90 days, and you will notice a difference in the first glass of water. Or if you have an animal, why don't you pour some structured water in one bowl, some tap water in another, reverse osmosis in another, distilled in another, and Kangen in another, and don't tell your dog which one to go to, which he wouldn't listen to you anyway. So, and then let the dog decide and find out where he goes. And you're going to find out he's going to go right to the structured water because he's going to go to nature-made, not man-made. Nothing that is instinctive would go to man-made. And this is nature-made water on the go. So, and you can take this same device and you can take, not that we want to, but you could take like an ounce from your beer, a quart of beer, and run it through. Run that ounce, put that ounce back into a quart of beer, and what's going to happen? The whole quart's going to be structured. How about a good buzz and no hangover? I mean, come on. This has got to be worth $1,000 right there. Okay, so, and you can do that to wine. You could do it to hard liquor. Or what we do is we make organic coffee where we put our black gold into it. We'll structure our water before we do our coffee. It's amazing coffee. Or anything else that you drink. You want to structure everything. You can take this device and run some olive oil, just even a couple ounces of olive oil through it, put it back into the bottle, and it'll structure the whole bottle of olive oil. Or, you know what people will do, and you have to wash it out, but people will buy shampoo that has toxins in it, run some shampoo through here, put that little bit of shampoo back into the bottle, and guess what? Now you're going to use about 1/3 of the shampoo to shampoo your hair because you have no surface tension, and you've just protected yourself from all the chemicals that are in shampoos unless you buy organic. So we can go on and on, or you can use this thing if you're having an anxiety attack. I promise you it'll work. And breathe. And you take 3 breaths. I don't care how bad your anxiety attack is, and it's just going to calm you down just like a kitten. So with all of this going on, I'm not really sure, a lot of people, they don't believe in magic. Well, I'll tell you what the magic is. The magic is that I'm alive and I'm going to live forever. The magic is that we're amazing, and there's magic everywhere. But, we have to make it complicated. Did you ever notice how hard people work or how much hell they go through when they can do things if they were just to think about, okay, see, if I really love myself, or if I really believe that I was created by something that creates the whole universe, you'd think that created the whole universe could help us come up with something that we could take on the go and go anywhere with and just be totally amazing.
Yeah.
I hope that answers
I
your question.
really understand what you're saying, and I would buy your product in a heartbeat. I was just wondering if the science backs up the product like you're saying it does. Why isn't Walmart and 20 other places making their own version currently?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I was just wondering why haven't other companies challenged the product you're making and, like, say, Walmart and mass produce it if it's such a basically like a miracle product?
Okay, wait a minute here. Do you see all the people at Walmart and Costco and they've got like their cart full of bottled water, which costs them nothing, that they ran out of the city tap water, and they put it on their natural spring water, and they've got everybody buying that. Why would you go and kill the
Yes, but
golden
there's
goose?
different demographics. There's different demographics of shoppers that go to Walmart. People that are knowledgeable about this and people that are unknowledgeable.
Yeah, but
people
I'm not
don't
saying
have the
that,
money
but
to,
I'm not,
people that do.
that's not what I'm saying. I'm trying to tell you that in the long run, they're not going to make the money off of this that they can make you filling up your cart with water bottles, okay, for 40 years.
Yeah.
That's all I'm
So
saying.
they already sell regular water filters that buy time that you have to replace, like say every 6 months to 9 months, which
Well-
they're losing money on water that they could be selling.
But
if
you
they
just
didn't
said
sell
it.
those water
You
filters.
just said it. They want to make sure you're going to come back to the store, because when you buy the water filter, aren't you going to buy the candy bar too? You're going to buy the candy bar, the bag of
maybe to other
chips.
people, yeah.
What? So we're getting off topic here. You have to understand something, that everything is about marketing, okay? And everything is about marketing. But you know what? I don't know if you follow me or not, but everything I do has got to be the most powerful, and it's got to be the most simple. And it's got to be effective. It really does. You know what? Everybody deserves to have really great health. And for those people that want to take personal action, okay, then this is what we're doing. And if you want to bring health home. Do we have another caller? All right, we have another caller. Good call. I like it. Thank you. Thank you, caller.
Hi, good evening. It's Peachy from Florida.
Hi.
How are you guys?
We're doing great.
Good. Listen, I was listening to the skepticism of the last caller, and I see that you explained so fully to him. You're so passionate about it. But I felt the need to just basically call in to give my own testimonial to help him take a shot, or anybody else, because when I added structured water, that unit and the shower head, the little shower head that comes in a package sometimes with it,
Yes.
I have those two things, and my entire energy level, health, everything changed after several days, but really in 2 weeks, I was basically hooked. I thought, like, what? How could this be? This is so insane. But I continued with it, and I've been with it over a year. And then one day, my little shower head thing fell apart, and the thing fell off. And it took me a little while to get my act together to get the replacement. And I was a month without my structured showers, and my energy level, it wasn't my imagination. Everything changed. The dryness of my skin returned. I mean, like, things where I was being chlorinated. So I just would say to anyone, I was also a skeptic. I'm one of the best, but I took a chance, and I would love to take this on a talking tour myself through Florida to bring it to people, because it makes a huge difference. And in now this world, I also bought a little Berkey unit, and I'm now, like, and I understand from someone else, distilled water is great and all this stuff, but I still now, after all my own research on myself, my own lab rat I was, but I keep coming back, and I continue to use my structured unit that you held up there, Darrell, every day, and I structure everything. I spray my pains in my feet, my hands. It just works miracles, and until you do it and try it, you don't know it. So give it a shot. That's all I wanted to say, and so good to see you all again.
Thank you, Peachy, and thank you for giving us a call. And you do know that we're coming to Florida, right? I'll be doing a whole life coach, and then a Wolfe deep tissue,
Oh,
and
I
then
know.
a non-surgical
I know,
course in Florida, in
Mhm.
St. Pete's, in October. Yeah.
Yes, I know. My birthday month. I met you last year in my birthday month. So
Are you going to come?
yeah,
Are you going to
I,
come and
I
see us in St. Pete's?
well, I'm working on trying to get there. I promise. So I'm going to be in touch soon with my perfect day with Abby. So
Okay.
I got a schedule.
All right, love. Well, thank you for calling. And do you have any questions for Clayton, or you good to go?
Well, I think before I saw the show start, something came upon my phone with some announcement of some expansion with the Natural Action. Is there an announcement coming? I thought he might have mentioned that on the last show, that there would be some things to share.
Are you asking me? Well, there
Yes,
are
Clayton.
things. There's always things coming. It's just a matter of. It's just a matter
Well,
of.
it's something with. Wait, there's something with oh, I forget the actress's name, but there's some sort of a show.
Oh, yeah.
Does that
Well,
ring a bell?
yeah. Well, yes. We're doing shows right now. This is this is for Clayton's Classroom, which is something that I did through my company, Natural Action Technologies, for 3 years or so, 4 years, and every other week.
Right.
And now we have this perfect golden opportunity to work one on one with the famous Dr. Darrell Wolfe.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
And so
Well,
and so
absolutely.
and so this
Absolutely, because you have a captive audience of very, very astute learners who want to improve Earth.
well I mean this is what Darrell represents, what we represent here and now is aiding humanity to survive. Pretty much that's what this technology and the impl- the implementation of it uh, that Darrell talks about all the time, and I mean this is absolutely essential for for a living organism to make it to the other side with grace, ease, and joy. We all want to do that. Well, we all want to live a longer, happier, more joyful life. And this is a technology that will aid you to do that, no matter what the conditions of the water are becoming. They're getting worse and worse and worse. This technology will aid you to live uh, a, a joyful life uh, beyond the conditions of the water.
And just know, everyone, we're not telling you not to filter your water. Just as Peachy, you got a Berkey. I mean, we sell Berkeys to people. You know, we're not telling you not to filter your water, but filtering your water isn't the rocket fuel that you need. The rocket fuel is in the structuring. It's lowering the surface tension. It's, right off the bat, you're going to get your money back so fast with delivery of all the nutrients from the food that you have to spend money and purchase for, or, the supplements that you take. Remember something. The supplement can be as good as you want it to be, pay as much as you want, but if there's no wheels on the truck, it's not going anywhere.
It goes in the toilet.
Yes, and we know that.
That's
And
that's an excellent point that we sometimes forget in the marketing of the other types of wacko stuff on TV. But we don't get to hear the the natural sort of like common sense things that we try to make so complicated. Like in that caller just before me, I heard him trying to understand, but complicating it for himself, which I did it myself. And I continue to do it myself. So I respect that. So that you repeat it and continue this. I think it helps a lot of people like me. I don't think I'm unique by any means. So God bless you all, and carry on.
thank you, Peachy. And you know what, Peachy? You hit it right on the head, because guess what? We need to be compassionate to everyone, because we've been there already. When I hear something new, I'm not going to change right away. We're skeptical. But the problem with today is that people have a harder time with the truth than they do with a lie. I mean, your government lies, the medical system lies, every corporation lies. You just have to watch TV and listen to the commercials. I mean, people will sit there and listen to a commercial that say, well, and if you've got bowel problems, take this. And this has seemed to help with certain amounts of people. And then for 10 minutes, they're telling you how you're going to die from taking it. And then people will actually stand up from their couch, go down to the pharmacy and buy it. So, and then we'll tell someone, guess what? They don't get a money back guarantee on their drugs. So then we're going to tell someone that that we're going to give them this unit, sell them this unit, and they've got 90 days to see if we're right. And then they look at us like, because I'm going to tell you something. It's not how truthful something is. It's how often it's been repeated. Let me tell you something. There are traditions and stories that people keep on going blah, 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 that have been going on for hundreds of years that aren't true. But guess what? That's called the family curse, right, Peachy?
It is, yes.
Okay.
And it reminds me just simply, so maybe on some level others can understand it. My husband's aunt would make a veal stew in an oval casserole, cast iron thing in the oven or on top of the stove, and she was teaching me, and I thought I had to have an oval cast iron, pan like that, but I couldn't find it anywhere because it was really an old Italian thing. And, it went on, and when she died, they asked if we wanted anything, and I asked for that pot, but her daughter wanted it. But I said, okay, well, I don't know. My veal stew never comes out the same. She goes, well, it's only because that's what she had to make it in. She didn't have a different pot, So it we think it has something to do with the ovalness of a pot or a shape of something, and it doesn't. It has a much greater meaning and or a much simpler meaning also, and we try to complicate.
Well, all I got to say is this, is watch out for his story. History. Watch out for his story. And did you ever notice something, everybody out there in scientific land? How every day science is being proven wrong with everything we've ever said that, hey, guess what? I've got science to back this up. Yeah, well, it's been backed up right up, you know where. So understand something. Stay logical, stay embraced with nature, and that's the way to go. Thanks, Peachy.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a good night now. I'm still listening.
Okay, sweetie. Do we have another caller? We have another caller. We have two callers. Okay, so we'll limit no more than 3 minutes per caller. Okay, all right. Caller? Nope, maybe they left. Jack, do you want to bring on the next caller?
Oh, hi, I'm here. I'm sorry.
Oh, she's here. Oh, see that? We almost got rid of you.
Thank goodness you didn't.
Me too.
Well, you started to hit on the question I was calling in for. I purchased the portable structure unit a while ago, and I've been using that. And I was just curious if you recommended using a filter with that as well.
Clayton?
Filtering your water is a choice. If you think you need a filter, I always tell people, if you think you need a filter, get one. But in reality, you are the filter. So all the things that are in your food, you're actually consuming, and it's going out, and what you are consuming goes out your elimination system.
Everything.
All the food you eat and drink goes out your elimination system. You have to understand this. That includes the water you're drinking. It goes out your elimination system. So what is feeding you?
I was saying a filter more so for the toxins. I understand how the unit will encapsulate the toxins, but how do you know that that's really being done?
Well, because nature.
Are there any that are left that you need to filter?
Nature does that. It does it through the rain. rain going up in the atmosphere and coming back as, well, water going up in the atmosphere and returning as rain, that water is structured. So when that
And it's
water is
fully
structured,
precipitate
what structuring actually means is it means that that water's, the toxic load of that water has been neutralized. That's what structuring does. Structuring neutralizes the toxins in the water. And it also enhances the nutrients in the water. So this technology does the identical same thing. All that reverse osmosis water, I mean, it still has the toxins in it. It doesn't have the physical toxins, but what feeds your cells? Energy, vibration. The vibration of the toxins is still in the water. So your body has to structure the water in order to make it usable at your cellular level. The structured water is the carrier of all the nutrients to your cells. Without water, your cells basically become starved because there's nothing to carry the nutrients to your cellular level.
Clayton, I have a question for you. So if we don't use like a structured water unit like this, or a structured water unit structure, because even the shower head, you're going to take water into your body. But if we don't use a structure unit, then your body will structure the water to try to protect you so that the frequencies, the negative ones, do not get to the cells, because it's frequencies that can turn cancer on or off, or frequencies that can actually damage the mitochondria. Am I off or am I on with this?
No, you're right on. You're right on.
All right.
Your body has to work, has to put out an enormous amount of work in order to structure the water that you're drinking. What you could, and believe me, if you structure the water through one of these devices, then all that work that your body would normally put out to be hydrated, then that work can now be utilized to repair your off vision, to repair your heart, to repair virtually every aspect of your physiology that's been impaired because the first mandate of your body is to be hydrated, right? So
Absolutely.
all the energy goes for hydration.
And the hydration is the key to no inflammation. And inflammation causes over 125 chronic diseases. And go ahead and name just the top 12 diseases that people are in the hospital with, that people they lose their lives with, is all about inflammation. And the best way to put out a fire in the body is with structured water. And that is proven. It will bring down inflammation so fast. And if you can do that, then your body's not going to make the scar tissue to try to wall off the inflammation from the inflammation attacking the connective tissue and destroying your tissues. So it's either you use structured water to put the fire out fast, or your body has to go to work and make fibrin to make scar tissue to create a dam to wall off the inflammation from spreading.
There you go. There's the story.
Okay,
So-
it makes sense. I just wanted to make sure I was safe not having a filter as well.
But you know what? But the thing is this. There's nothing wrong with having a filter.
Right.
The thing is let's not try to sell our family on this. People are not ready for it.
Right.
Do you understand? What people are ready
I've been using it for over a year.
Oh, well.
I have no complaints, so
Okay.
I had the shower head as well.
All right. But I'm just saying that, you know what? Yep, you're an exception. You are an exception. And I'm not putting anybody and not putting the rest of the people down. But remember something. People follow the herd. And what do the herd get told? Only what they hear. So what do they hear? Only what they turn on. Okay? So they turn on their TV, they turn on their radio, and they turn on and they listen to everybody that turns on these things, so they get turned off. And the thing is most people can't understand the concept either, that they're just totally amazing and they can create any life they want, and every life they have has been created by them. So, you know as well as I do that, everything is conditioning. So you're just
one thing I want to add here. When I said, when you think you need a filter, I would suggest you get a filter. The reason is because every time that you go drink water and you don't have a filter, you're going to put that into your water. What I would rather you do is you go ahead and get your filter and then move on. Basically what buying a filter and putting it in your system will do for you is it'll allow you to do what more is possible, to move on.
to set your mind free.
Set your mind
From a
free.
mental aspect. Okay, thank you.
On a closing note, I had a patient come into me, and she said, Dr. Wolfe, I really believe in you, but I really believe that if I don't get chemotherapy, I'm going to die. And you know what I said to her? Get the chemotherapy, and when you're done, but keep doing what I've taught you and get the chemotherapy. And I didn't question her, because guess what? Where the mind goes, the body follows. So
Exactly.
we must understand that peace of mind, and the only peace you're going to find on this earth is called peace of mind. You're not going to find peace outside yourself. It's inside yourself, inner peace. So make sure that you're always making decisions that you feel good and that you've honored yourself and you don't have that invisible terrorist on your back. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Jack, do we have a caller? We have another caller, Clayton. Good day, caller.
Hi.
Thanks for your patience.
I have a little portable structured water unit I bought from you.
Yep.
And I was on a trip at the hotel. The water was cloudy and didn't taste good at all. And I put it through my little structured water unit, and it came out crystal clear. I had a friend with me, and she's like, "Wow, I want one of those." But the water tasted pretty much the same, but it was amazing how it changed it.
Clayton?
And
Yes. So basically what we're talking about here, is when you're talking about taste, it's the energy that's in the water. So that portable one time through is in a sense fixing the the cloudiness. In a lot of places in the country, the water is red or orange. If you run it through a structuring unit, it'll come out clear. Why? Because again, that's what structuring does. It brings everything into its harmony, into its divinity, where it's is most perfect for life, for humanity. So it's about energy. So if you have still the taste, the adversarial taste, what you may consider doing is multiply structuring the water. Run the water through more than one time.
okay.
Put your finger over the small end, the outlet, fill it 3/4 of the way full, or just about full. You have to leave enough room for the water to be able to move inside the unit. And then you can, if you're just going to do it for a little bit, you can place the palm of your hand over the top, the funnel side, and just shake it back and forth. Every stroke up and every stroke down is equivalent to a pass through that unit. Or if you want to do it more than that, if you drink wine, a wine cork will fit perfectly into the funnel side of the portable. So you push a wine cork in, you turn it upside down, holding your finger over the outlet on the bottom, and shake it up and down. I would recommend when you initially do that to only do it maybe equivalent to maybe a dozen times, maybe 2 dozen times. Because if your body is toxic and what you're doing here by multiply structuring the water is you're increasing the bioenergy, the biophoton energy. In other words, the chi energy of the water. So that chi energy is a significant attribute to aid your body to detox. So if you got too much chi, you may detox in a form that doesn't feel good. You may end up in the bathroom. So if you're going to multiply structure your water, you want to do it gradually.
So basically, what you're telling her is that she needs to make sure if she's going to really structure that water a lot, she better take the cork out.
Right.
You got to have flow. If you don't have flow, you'll blow the cork out.
Right.
Okay.
So you can add that to a pitcher of water, or your bathtub, or your swimming pool, and you will find truly amazing things happen. So what I recommend really is that you take this out into the world and explore. And as you discover these magical things that are going to happen for you, come back and tell me what they are. Come back and tell us what they are. And I want to tell you this. When you come back with your story going out to how many hundreds of thousands of people that hear your story, what it does is it gives them let's say a level that they too can embrace, that they too can engage in, and learn from, and go beyond. I mean, this is the magic of humanity bringing the truth to the rest of the world. As we do this, we are engaging in a significant balance of consciousness worldwide. It's happening. It's happening right now.
It's all about frequency. It's all about energy. And you know what? Whether you're talking about hanging around with people, you want them to be high frequency. You want them to be full of light. And that's the same thing with the food and the drink that we take in. Right, Clayton?
Yes.
Yeah. So the more you embrace higher frequencies, higher vibrations, you're not going to get sick. You know, so many people are so worried today. Hey, Clayton, I know that you hear about this all the time about getting cancer or getting sick. Well, you know what? When you start to understand how powerful you are and how something like this is so powerful, you know what? We've given our power away and it's been taken away. And the thing is that, you know, people think, well, you know, this is so silly. It can't work. Well, you know what? Self-empowerment is the only type of power that we should be looking for. And that's what this show's about. And this is why every show I do on here. And this is what Clayton is about. Clayton is about empowering the world. And you know what? Anybody gives a 90-day money-back guarantee, you know. He should have been bankrupt years ago if this was not true. Okay? And, you know, you can fool some of the people all of the time, but we don't get returns on these. And I've been selling this now for 5 years. Eh, Clayton?
Yes. Right.
And I've
Same
sold
here.
more portables than most people. Eh, Clayton?
Yes.
So, you know, and house units, industrial units, shower units, and they don't get returned. And that's a fact. I couldn't count on my hand how many returns we've got in probably 5 years. And that's a fact. You can hold me right to the fire. And everybody who works for me, they know that. So why is that? You know, it's because people are waking up, and they need to wake up to frequency. They need to wake up to structuring. Don't you want structure in your life? Don't you want structure in your cells? Don't you want structure in your digestive tract? And remember, you're a walking sack of water. We should be going swish, swish. You know, 80% of our body is water. And do you want your blood structured? That's really what it's all about. And remember something, if you don't use this and you don't structure, you'll be lower vibrational, so you'll take on all the bugs, the fungus, the viruses, the parasites, okay? And you won't be as happy. Because I'll tell you right now, start drinking structured water and tell me that you don't feel happier, that you don't feel more joy in your life. Clayton? Or caller?
Absolutely.
Oh, yes, I think I noticed that. I've had it for 6 months or so. And I had already owned a Berkey water filter, and
Yeah.
I took a jar of the filtered water that I structured and poured it into the bottom half, into the holding tank. Will that structure all the water automatically then as it drips through?
Yes, it will.
Cool. So I don't need to
And-
do that periodically. It will hold that all indefinitely.
You know, I can say this about beer. If you structure a small amount of beer in the bottom of your glass, a small amount, and then you add the rest of the bottle to the glass. If you drink that beer down to that small amount, leaving a small amount in the bottom of the glass, and you add another bottle of beer, and another bottle of beer, and another bottle of beer, you can probably drink beer forever without having to structure it again.
Where do you think that song came from? 99 beers on the wall. Hey, Clayton?
Right. So the however is, we're talking about beer in a glass. When you get out into the world and say you're going to structure a lake or a pond or a river, or even yourself, as you step out of your dwelling, out of your home, out of your apartment, you are more than likely passing under the sun. And the sun is a magical device all in itself. It structures water, but it also has a tendency to unstructure water. And it's the same reason that you don't stand in the sun all day. If you stand in the sun, what happens? Your skin burns.
You're making
and
bacon.
what is actually happening is the sun is eliminating the hydration of your skin. It's doing it through the ultraviolet. And so, a lake, a water, a pond, a river, a puddle, in direct sunlight, eventually loses its structure because of the ultraviolet. So, you have to add structured water to it periodically in order to maintain structure. Just like your body. Now, one thing I'm going to tell you here is as you do this for a period of time, your physiology will evolve. It will evolve because it will remember the quality of life that comes from this water. And it will make it itself. It has that potential. We have that potential when we first come into this world. For maybe the first 3 or 4 years. For some children, even longer. But it's pretty magical. The what nature has to offer for us. If we're just, all we need to do is listen, really, be present.
So just like the majority of the population that eat processed food, most of them will continue to have processed water. And that's the way it's going to go, because he who advertises the most will get the most. But you know what? Eventually, like a ripple effect, people will grasp onto this structuring. And we see it growing more and more. I have people that are buying structured water units that said, Dr. Wolfe, and they've said this to me, like even just 2 and 3 years ago, you know what? Everything else you do is great, but now you've ruined your reputation. And I said, well, we'll just see how that is. So, then people, once they're able to take it and they're able to, wrap their mind around it. And that's why we have to show compassion for all our fellow human beings, okay? Because being a human being, you show compassion when people do not understand something. Any other questions, caller?
No, that's all I had. Thank you very much.
Well, you're welcome, and I appreciate you so much for calling and asking questions. And we like the hard questions too, like when people challenge us and and put us on the hot seat. I love the hot seat, because you know what, I'm not always going to tell you that I'm always going to be right, and that I can't continually learn. I learn from my callers so much, and I just want to tell everybody that calls in that I really appreciate you. Clayton?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I agree wholeheartedly. Thank you.
Anybody else, Jack?
No.
Okay, we have another caller. Thank you, callers, so much. Please call again. Go ahead, caller.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. And what would you like to ask Clayton?
Just want to ask, I'm traveling overseas and I just want to know if I can you put the bottled water through the potable structured.
Can you speak a little bit louder?
I just want to know if I can put the bottled filtered water,
Yeah.
from overseas, and put it through the portable structured unit.
Yes, anytime. You can run
I
it
can.
from one bottle to another.
Yeah.
You can run the water through several times, however you want to do it. This is
Good.
one time is sufficient, but like a previous caller, sometimes it's about taste, and as you structure the water more than once, you're improving the quality of the water or the sweetness of the water. Because water that is truly perfect, that is truly structured, fully structured, cannot hold on to anything that's adversarial. It can't hold on to taste. It can't hold on to any physical, any energetic toxins or medications, anything that's adversarial to life. Structured water cannot carry. It's against the law.
Okay.
It's against nature's law.
Right. It's against nature's law.
Yep. One more question. Would I be able to carry that in my bag, like carry bag, take it through customs? Would you know?
Yes.
Would I be allowed to take it on the plane, or I gotta?
Yes. What I recommend, I'm sure that there's hundreds of thousands of them out there right now, and people are traveling with them all the time. You may, if it's an airport that hasn't seen one all that often, I recommend that people just pull them out and put them with their shoes or their wallet or whatever, and it just.
Okay.
And.
Yeah. Okay.
And just so you know, Lori and I, we travel to do lectures, and I'm usually traveling, like I haven't traveled in the last 6 weeks, but usually I'm flying every 2 weeks. And it's just in our carry-on knapsack, right? Because what we do is we drink. Well, I fly a lot, so I'll drink a quart of water first thing I get up in the morning, structured water. I'll drink another quart of structured water just before I go through the lineup in the morning. Okay, so now I got 2 quarts. Soon as we get through, we pull this out of our knapsack, and then now they have the filters. I mean, to fill up your bottle. We'll fill up our structured water, and then we'll drink that. And we usually do a gallon with every flight we take, and because people do not realize this, but actually jet lag is actually dehydration. That's really what it is. And drinking structured water, you go ahead and try to drink about 16 ounces of structured water for every hour that you're in the air. Okay, and and you want to get up, because when you have to pee, you're getting up, and also by getting up and moving to the bathroom and coming back and going to the washroom every maybe 45 minutes, okay, between the walking with the circulation and the structured water, you'll have no jet lag, or very little. Everybody else will be complaining for 2 to 3 days, and that's because they need to hydrate again, and that's also the EMFs. But remember what structured water does. It protects you against EMF. So when people say to me, hey, what about EMF protection? And I say, yeah, just drink structured water and drink a lot of it. And you're continually structuring the water of your body, which structures your cells, which means that you're EMF protected.
Oh, that's good.
And it's true. And it's a fact. And you can take that to the bank because you'll feel it. If I go to the mall, and I didn't drink enough, and when I go to the mall, I will drink this here full of structured water. Okay? This size, before I step into the mall, just before I step in. Because I'll tell you something, it really fries my brain. You get about a couple thousand people with cell phones, and then all the Wi-Fi in there, and then all the fluorescent lighting, that if you could take a look at what it's doing to your cells shopping, So anyways.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, no, I take my structured water everywhere I go. Like, I've got the house unit. I've been
the house unit
for probably over a year.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best.
Any other questions for Clayton?
Thank you for the information.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Have a beautiful trip wherever you go. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
You.
All right.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, Jack. Well, I think it's been a good show, eh, Clayton? Oh,
absolutely beautiful.
Okay. It's been a great show. So, what would you like to tell anybody on leaving, Clayton?
Oh wow! Well, again, I'm grateful for being here and engaging with Darrell. It is a fulfillment that that is ongoing. That fulfillment of hearing people's stories and their questions to aid them to come into agreement. And again, I encourage everybody to take this into your life. Prove it to yourself, your family, your friends, and explore what more is possible with it. And come back and let us know. Because again, as you do that, you expand everybody's life a little bit more and a little bit more. And someday you will turn around or look out and see the magic that you have been part of the creation.
Beautiful. Thank you, Clayton.
Thank you.
Just remember, everyone, Clayton had a really good point, and that is that we can only expand one way, and that's consciously. And that's what we do when we buy into things that are sometimes hard to wrap our minds around. But you need to ask yourself, why is it so difficult to wrap your mind around something that nature already does? Well, because we've removed ourselves from nature. Because you know what? We're pretty tech happy, aren't we? We've fallen in love with our phones. Our phones do all our thinking now, okay? And also Google does all our thinking now. So understand something, that just embrace nature and and brace yourself because you have unlimited potential, okay? So give us a call at 855-900-4544 on any questions about structured water, okay, or anything else about detox or anything about nutrition. Know that you can call my office and not have to purchase anything from us. And we will answer every question that we can truthfully and in a way that empowers you. Remember something. It's always training before treatment, okay? And there's only one empowerment, and that's self-empowerment. And self-empowerment means that you're going to invest time and money into yourself because you're that beautiful. I want to thank Clayton Nolte for coming on my show. I don't think anybody really realizes how much I love this guy. Okay, he's a big teddy bear. And he's one of the good guys, okay? And that's all I have to say. And God bless everybody and have a beautiful night. And make sure you hydrate tonight, okay? And for those of you who do not like to drink water because you have to pee so often, that's because you didn't like water and you never drank water enough. And now you've got an inflamed bladder, which will soon turn into an inflamed prostate or uterus or ovaries. And then you'll have all kinds of scar tissue and inflammation down there. So start drinking water, make it structured, and just have it a pain in your butt for a while to go to the bathroom every 20 minutes until you take your bladder to the gym and have the best night ever. And we will see you back here in 2 weeks with the amazing Clayton Nolte. God bless.
God bless.